And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Integrity Racing League 2021 season, live here at the Tricky Triangle, the Pocono International Raceway. I forgot the name.
I think there's no international on it.
Well, the Pocono Raceway. Joining me tonight in the broadcast booth is Robert Dorman. I, of course, am Jonathan Oates, here to bring you flag-to-flag coverage of tonight's Integrity Racing League event. We've got 80 laps on display here at the Pocono Raceway. Stages ending at lap 20 and 40. If no caution comes out by the conclusion of Stage 2, then there will be a stage caution thrown. No cautions at the end of stages regularly. Points awarded to the top 10. All that good stuff. We're here at Pocono. 80 laps, Integrity Racing League. Dorman, you got anything to add here before we go green I'm going to say about a minute's time? That'll be my estimate.
I mean, you just about covered it. Dustin Montgomery on the pole, the 93 Chevy, so I think that's about it. It'll be a good race.
Yeah, Dustin Montgomery, very fast here at the Pocono Raceway. I got the chance to race with him earlier this week, and he was much faster than me, so, yeah, that's about all I've got. Pace car going to roll away in just a second here with Montgomery and Alec Daffin following. The rest of the field lines up behind. Cody Smith, Ethan Lane, Nick Terbuck. In case you missed it, last week the Integrity Racing League headed to the Nashville Super Speedway, where through a race of strategy and a little bit of chaos, Caitlin Height came out on top. Tonight she starts in P10, last car inside the top 10. A couple of new drivers for tonight's race. Dustin Montgomery making his first start, so is James Bazan. A couple of other first-time starters in the field here tonight. Trevor Dalton.
Speaking of James, I don't know the details of it, but he's taking an EOL at the start.
All right.
Not sure if that was requested or if that was given, but I'm gonna assume it was requested because when it was given, he said thank you. So, gonna assume, yeah.
Yeah, that'll probably be a good assumption. Back live, or back at the front of the field, here's Dustin Montgomery leading them down the, which one is the Long Pond straightaway?
I think this is the Long Pond straightaway.
All right, well, that one's the Long Pond.
One off of turn 2, which I consider turn 3, down into turn 4 that's the short chute.
Okay.
I think.
Ooh, another thing to keep in mind, this is a different racetrack than we've been at before. Each turn a little bit different from the next. Turn 1 and 2, very banked. No, it depends on how you define it, because you could say that first turn is turn 1 and 2, but anyways. Turn 1, very banked. Turn 2, the tunnel turn, very flat, very reminiscent of Indianapolis's corners. And turns 3 and, well, no, just 3. I'm going to mess that up a couple of times tonight. Very long, very flat. Pace car going to dive off here, and we are ready to go racing at Pocono.
It's the third left turn.
Pace car is in. Green flag is out. We are underway from the Tricky Triangle.
Pretty even start by Dustin Montgomery and Alec Daffin. Can be side by side going into turn 1, and who is that dropping way back?
That car's on the inside line. I think that's Jay Heishman.
And I'm gonna butcher some names. Ooh, we got
Caitlin Height in the wall. Trouble. Turn 1.
No caution.
Female?
Yes.
And last week's winner slams the inside wall. We got one going around to the back straightaway. Is that gonna bring out the yellow? We got a lot of trouble here. Tom Wetmore goes around. Now the caution is out. A little bit delayed on that one. But Caitlin Height plows down the outside wall. Tom Wetmore goes around. We have a caution out on lap 1. Well, that was not the best way to start this race.
No, it was not. Taking a look at what happened.
Oh.
Who is that?
A lot happened.
Jacob Fife?
Oh.
I'm looking at the turn 1 incident with Caitlin.
Well, hold on a minute, because Tom Wetmore, I'm not sure what happened here. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Oh, yeah, a lot happened. So this started, let's take a look at the helicopter camera here. Going into turn 1, Caitlin Height on the outside here. And you're going to see, I think Fife gets stacked up behind Terbuck.
It just gets a little bit loose. I don't know if he got loose or if he just tried to get out of the way for the 98.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Came up the track, doored, absolutely got into his 00.
And then came back. No, and then he kind of pinched Wetmore. He kind of pinched Wetmore, who slid up into him, and then shoved him into the wall, and then went around himself. So that was not a very clean start to the race. We have a caution out lap 1, and Wetmore hits that bounce next to the inside wall, or I guess bump if you're a normal person. I don't know why I called it a bounce.
Why did you call it that?
I don't know, and slams the inside wall. Front end picks off the ground a little bit, and that brings out our first caution of the night. So that does mean that we're not going to have a stage yellow at the conclusion of lap 2. This is actually going to be the first yellow before stage 2 we've had in quite a while. One more full speed look at the wreck here. And that brings out our first caution. So back live, Dustin Montgomery, of course, still in the lead of this race. I believe they are going to...
Look, there's only a few cars with damage. This isn't as bad as I thought it would be. For a lap 1 wreck, that is.
Yeah, so lights are still on the pace car. Why don't we go ahead and get a damage report throughout the field. It's down...
I think 4 cars have damage.
Well, let's get an official count here. Guillermo Alvarez looks... Oh, someone just blew up.
Oh.
Todd Thomas has blown up in the pit lane. No, he didn't.
That was not Todd Thomas.
Who blew up in the pit lane?
I'm taking a look right now.
Is it Don Stephenson?
I think it was... Oh, wait, here we go.
Oh, it was
Oh,
Tom...
it was Wetmore.
Tom Wetmore. He was the one who blew
Wetmore.
up. Yeah.
That's really unfortunate.
Well, this has definitely not been a great race for Tom Wetmore, but it's not something he didn't expect. Right before the race, he messaged me and said, "Good news, another track I just downloaded. Sorry in advance for the poor performance." So, he was correct. All right.
Feel bad, not of his own doing.
Yeah, not really. Although, this might be fun. So a similar thing happened to him a few weeks ago at Mid-Ohio, when he wrecked out pretty early, and he decided to join us up here in the booth, and he's asked
There
again,
it is.
"Hello, Tom, welcome to the broadcast booth. Happy to have you here
How we
again."
doing?
That makes one of us. I'm pretty disappointed to be down here, but an early exit means early entry into the TMC or TMG broadcast booth tonight.
Yeah, welcome aboard.
Oh,
We are...
somebody just disconnected.
Oh, alright, well, we've lost another one. I'm guessing that was
Yep.
Christopher Schutzler.
Yep.
Alright. Well, still under caution. We have not taken one to green yet. I think we will this time by.
I think they're at 2 to green.
I would hope so.
No, like I think. Oh, you.
There we go. 1 to
1 to
green.
green.
Well, how have you guys been on this fine evening as we start off a nice Monday night here with the Integrity Racing League?
Well, I've had
Pretty
I've had a pretty good day so far. I was hoping for more than 1 lap of green, but maybe we can get it underway this time by, as Dustin Montgomery is going to lead the field to green once again. Tom, I got a question for you. How many turns does this track have to you?
Well, it's somewhere between 3 and 6, but let me tell you, as a driver, you're always planning on an entry and an exit, so it feels like 6 in the car, but if you're at home, 3 is a whole lot easier to keep track of.
5. It's 5. I don't understand why people think it's 3. Looking at how the track was built, turn 1 is based off of turn 1 and 2 from another racetrack. Turn 2 is based off of 1 turn from Indianapolis, and turn 3 is based off of 3 and 4 or 1 and 2 from another track. That is 5 corners.
You have a point. However, what if you said that Indianapolis had 8 corners? Then you have 6
Nope,
turns.
Then nope.
Nope, it has 8 turns. Nope, it does. Indianapolis has 8 turns, just like this track has 6.
You have problems.
The first debate of the night here at TMG, I love it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun night here, because, not too much to do under caution other than argue about how many turns this track has, which is 6. Pace car going to be in. This time by, we can go back to racing. Dustin Montgomery going to lead the field back to green.
Dustin Montgomery, a long-time returner here to Integrity Racing League. He's raced here before, from what I understand, and he's always been fast, but he's going to face some hard charges from guys like Brad Patton for sure, always trying to come up through the pack.
Well, we'll Here we go.
Here we
Pace
go.
car is in.
Attempt number 2.
Yeah, green flag back in the air. We are back underway at Pocono, down towards turn 1. Great jump by Montgomery. Daffin comes down to try and cover off Cody Smith. That's not going to work out. Smith gets to his inside. Side by side for second as they go to turn 1. Couple of cars fanning out 3 wide in the back. And down towards turn number 1, Montgomery leads them through. Now for second, here comes Daffin on the outside of Cody Smith, who slides up the track, nearly gets into the door of the 48. He's going to get sideways
really
off turn 2. Or turn 1, or whatever. Down the back straightaway, Montgomery leads over Daffin, over Smith, over Terbuck, over Matz as they're side by side, just inside the top 5. Now here comes Banfield down to the inside of Matz, who goes up the track. He is looking at the wall there in turn 2. He avoids
Good job
it.
keeping it off the wall.
3 wide, looking into turn number 3. Vincent Gilbert thought about it, but ended up backing out. Didn't quite have the overlap. Now through turns 3 and 4. Gilbert on the inside of Matz. Matt's going to try and fight back up top. That is not going to work. And he gets into the wall.
Matz is hard into the fence.
Yeah, Kevin Matz gets the outside wall. That'll give Alan Rowell a run down the front straightaway. Is he going to look to the inside into turn 1 here? Yes, he is. Side by side for 7.
See how sideways James Bazan got off of turn 3. He about doored somebody coming out of that corner.
You know, I did not
Lost
see.
a lot of time.
I did not see, actually. But I'm sure he was
Yeah.
very sideways.
Yeah, James and that Takis Fuego number 90 came off of 4 there and was just hot and sideways, but coming back into live action here, it looks like he's trying to take a look inside Caitlin Height coming into this deep tunnel turn here, and I just wonder if Caitlin's going to late break him in there and get him out.
Yeah, he is way too far back. Now here comes Brad Patton on the outside of Todd Thomas, but Thomas on the inside on those slightly fresher tires. Powers by him.
3.
Oh, yep, they are 3 wide. Alvarez on the inside of the 15 and the 92 machine of Trevor Dalton. Dalton up the track now. Here comes Eric Crow down the inside. Dalton going to keep it out of the wall. Good move by Alvarez to make up a couple of spots. Now, Alan Rowell and Ethan Lane are both trying to get around Kevin Matz, but Lane has fallen off the bumper of Matz, and Rowell has fallen off the bumper of Lane. Down towards turn number 1 again.
But Guillermo coming on the inside, you know, as you come into turn 1 and turn 2 here, that right rear is going to want to step out from under you just a little bit. So for Guillermo to get a run off of turn 2 here like he just has here, really impressive. Glad to see that car, that BMR Chevrolet Camaro is putting down some serious power coming into the tunnel.
And another thing to consider that with the nature of Pocono, a lot of these drivers might be electing to shift in turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I've always found that that is the faster way to get around the track. Why don't we listen into Alvarez, see what he's doing to get around this racetrack? And it
Sounds like he's staying in that 4th gear there,
Yeah, I was
Jonathan.
gonna
And as
say.
he comes off 4, he's going to have a huge run on that Spam
What a-
Toyota Supra of
Damn,
Alan Roll.
what a run.
massive run.
Yeah, he's going to move to the inside line. Great
Brad
run by
Patton got a
Alvarez.
run too.
Patton has a run as well. Further back. Now, where is Brad Patton actually? Oh, yeah, he's further back in the field.
He's further back.
Yeah, as he goes to the inside of James Vazan, but back up to Alvarez. Let's see, is he shifting in 1 and 2? No, he is not, so a lot of drivers electing to stay in 4th gear. Not really sure about that call. I've always found it a little faster to go down to 3rd as they're side by side for the race lead. Daffin on the inside, going to take the lead from Dustin Montgomery.
Gonna be honest, I found not shifting is a little bit better, mainly because it helps the tires, as we got a really good battle for the lead going on.
Yeah, it's almost a 3-way battle for the lead as here comes Montgomery down the inside. Gonna
Cody
maybe
Smith.
slide up the track. Yeah, and watch for that 3rd car, Cody Smith.
Yeah, he's trying to do something.
Daffin fights back on the high side. Now here comes Cody Smith, 3rd car in line. He's going to push Daffin by the 93 of Montgomery. Is he going to move to the inside? No.
This is the 4th week in a row that Cody Smith has been incredibly fast on a short run, just staying here, biding his time between the 93 and the 48. And Alec Daffin live on Twitch right now if you guys want to see some more in-car view. But in the meantime, you can see it here on TMG. He's trying to pass for the lead.
Yeah, and Alec Daffin now takes the lead over Dustin Montgomery and Cody Smith. So a good drive by...
Good move.
Yeah, really good move by Daffin as we got a battle in the back. That number 15 car on the inside of Alan Rowell going down to the tunnel turn. Eric Crow trying to follow him through as well. Rowell fights back.
Both of them.
Yeah, they're both
The
tight off the
top two
corner.
cars.
Whoa! What's going on with the top 2?
Both the 93 and the 48 got really sideways out of the tunnel turn.
Yeah, Pocono is one of those tracks that really pushes the handling of these cars, and if you're not careful, you can burn up your tires pretty quickly as they are nose to tail down the front straightaway. Montgomery going to have the slipstream, but it's not too powerful in these B cars, so he might not be able to make a move to the inside, but he's going to get closer to the rear bumper of that 48. Is he going to move to the inside? No, he is not. He stays behind.
This battle for 10th, they're about looking 3 wide.
And they're getting very close into turn 1. Garrison holds the spot over Crow and Rowell. Look at that 92 machine looking up at the third lane.
You know, I was talking in the pre-race with Brad Patton in that Depth Esports Camaro. He said he was going to lay.
Whoa! Big move by Todd Thomas all the way down to the apron. Off turn 1. He's making a big dive on James Bazan. Tom, I'm sorry to cut you off there. I just saw a 6 car flying down to the inside.
And he almost gets tagged again by that Fuego car.
Oh, Bazan! Saves it? No! Oh, he did not save it. He goes around.
And the Taki's Fuego car is going to go around, but he's off the racing surface. I'm not sure if that's going to
Oh, what is he doing? Oh, no! And that is going to bring out the caution.
Almost ends Jay Heishman's whole career right there. He's coming out just after the tunnel turn, but Jay avoids him, and that Taki's car stays low, thinking better of it.
Yeah, that was, wow. That was treacherous, to say the least. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at a replay? And Tom, I am sorry to cut you off several times about Brad Patton. Just a lot happened all at once, but go ahead and carry on.
No, it's quite all right. There's action on the track that's more pressing, but yeah, I was talking to Brad Patton in the pre-race, and he said he was going to play it conservative with so many new young faces coming out here in the Integrity Racing League tonight. And Brad said that, hey, I'm going to start in the back, and I'm going to do the right thing and save my tires, more particularly save both the right front and the right rear of his Chevrolet Camaro sponsored by Depth Esports. And it's working for him now, obviously starting in the back, but trying to come up on a top 10 finish. And now with the field bunched up under yellow, he's only going to have a better opportunity to do just that.
So why don't we take a look at James Bazan's rejoin here. So you're going to see he kind of pulls onto the racing line and, yep, almost ends that man's whole career. So
I did not think he was going to stop.
Well, hold on.
I thought he was going to pull up right in front of him.
So what do you think was going through his mind right about here as he's backwards on the track trying to rejoin? What do you think he was thinking here, Dorman?
Well, coming from a guy that is not the best racer, what he's probably thinking is, I've wrecked, no caution, I have to get back going before I go a lap down and something happens like this again. So he's probably just trying to get his car in the right direction as fast as he can.
Now,
yeah,
go ahead.
You're 100% right, Dorman. At the end of the day, iRacing typically throws a caution if you're impeding traffic here, and with him not impeding traffic, he must have clearly thought that that everyone had passed him, and pulling out on the racing surface there wouldn't have caused a caution since he must have thought everyone had passed him. Unfortunately, Jay Heishman staying back behind the field, saving his equipment for a later race. Unfortunately, was right there when he came back on track, causing us to put us under our second yellow here at Pocono.
I'd like to interrupt. We have activity in the pit lane. Montgomery has brought some of the field down pit road, but Trevor Dalton, now Alan Rowell, Eric Crow, and Guillermo Alvarez have all elected to stay out. So Montgomery
almost got the race off the pit road.
Yeah, that number 1 pit stall can be an advantage, but you just carry so much more momentum from further on back that here at Pocono can actually be an advantage to start a little bit further back.
Speaking of further back, James Bazan has been given an EOL for the cause of that caution, and he will be at the end of the longest line for this restart.
That was a very mean comment. Speaking of further back. All right, well,
I mean, he's sorry. I guess I could have phrased that better.
I mean, I know you were referring to the EOL, but that just sounded very mean. All right, so back up at the front of the field. They might be on 2 to go. I don't know. iRacing kind of figures out what it wants to do with these bigger tracks, kind of on the fly. But yeah, top 4 are all out on older tires. 5th on back is on fresher tires. I believe they only have 3 extra tire sets for this race. So some of these drivers are only going to have 2 left for the remaining 70 laps. Everyone else going to have a full 3, but that's only going to be 4 cars on those 3. We saw that come into play last week at Nashville when the result was quite shaken up by those different tire sets and saving a set throughout the first couple of stages. So we'll see how that plays into tonight's race.
Jonathan, you put out a great point. These 4 cars that stayed out here are saving themselves a set of tires, and with 2 cautions early in this race, which is somewhat surprising, I mean, we're not going to have a caution at the end of stage 2 as a result, which means, hey, if we have another caution maybe 10-20 laps from now as the right rear burns off the tires of these Xfinity cars, you could see a guy like Guillermo Alvarez be in a serious position to win here, even though he may fall back as the fresher tires behind him prevail early.
We have some more activity. Jacob Fife has brought his number 36 machine into the pit lane, past the stranded 51 of Tom Wetmore. Oh dear. But Fife comes in for, I'm guessing, a top off on fuel, because Pocono has a weird tendency to produce a lot of fuel mileage races, so I think Fife trying to give himself a little bit of a barrier there. We've seen it in the Cup Series, we've seen it in pretty much every time Pocono is on the schedule for these races. Even in iRacing leagues, we've seen quite a lot of fuel mileage races here at Pocono. So I think Fife trying to give himself a little protection. As the top four, all out on old tires, the rest of the field on 4 tires. But this could shake things up in a few more ways than one, because it is going to give some new drivers some track position. But on the other hand, it's going to mean that these drivers on new tires are going to have to work their way through these old tire cars. So that could shake some things up. And it could come down to who is better at navigating traffic here at Pocono, as we get set to go back racing this time by with Guillermo Alvarez, your race leader. Thinking back to earlier in the season, Alvarez was in a position to win at Homestead. He was not able to get the better of Justin Trombley then, maybe trying to put himself in another position to win.
Well, Tom brought up a really good point about the tires. We've only run 12 laps, and we've already had 1 caution before this. So those 4 guys that stayed out, if this plays right, this could really be good for those 4.
Yeah, this could get very, very interesting. It is going to be a very short sprint to the end of the stage, only 7 laps. So we'll see who's going to come out on top. Remember, no caution at the end of stage 1, no caution at the end of stage 2, now that we've already had 2 yellows. Pace car is in, green flag back in the air.
Green flag.
And already Alvarez diving to the inside, trying to break the draft down the front straightaway. Raul gets a good jump from third. Yeah, great start by him. Now here comes that 48 machine of Alec Daffin trying to make quick work of Alan Rowell. Looking down to the inside into turn 1. Rowell going to pinch him on entry. That's going to hurt his momentum through the corner. He gets sideways.
Really sideways. Here comes Dustin.
The 93 is going to capitalize on that. They're going to push it 3 wide. Allen roll that spam can, that compressed meat getting compressed against that outside safer barrier.
3 wide into the tunnel, turn down the back straightaway. Here comes Ethan Lane behind. 3 wide, deeper in the pack. Are they going to make it through? Dalton up the track. He is losing positions really quickly here at Pocono. Now down the back straightaway. Ethan Lane is up to 5th. Rowell's falling back. Now here comes the 18 of Cody Smith on the inside of Eric Crow as Alvarez makes his way through turn 3 with Daffin chasing, coming to start lap 15.
Yeah, Guillermo Alvarez, that rearview mirror is going to start to get more and more important as he has 3 cars of fresh tires chasing him down. Ethan Lane fast all season starting in the back, and that 93 and 48 car starting on the front row with nothing to lose, but everything to gain with a win this season.
And now through turn 1, Eric Crow up the track. 3-car battle in front of them between Rowell, Smith, and Tarabuck. Side by side down the Long Pond straightaway. Eric Crow still falling back as Rowell is on the outside of Tarabuck. Tarabuck going to have the inside line going into the tunnel turn.
Yeah, Tarabuck and the number 4 Chevy Camaro been fast and consistent today. In practice, ran a consistent top 10 time all race long, even as the track faded. And you can see him moving up here into a top 5 position.
There it is.
Top 6.
Alec Daffin going for the race lead out of turn 3.
Big battle for the lead. Will he clear him off 4?
He is not yet. There it is.
But now here comes Dustin Oh, that's going to get close on the front straightaway there. But here comes Dustin Montgomery trying to side draft that 83 machine and bring himself closer to the 48 of Daffin. Side by side into turn 1 with the top 3. Montgomery on the inside. He's going to have the racing line. Almost contact as Montgomery finds a way through.
Yep, Daffin got a little bit phased, had to make an adjustment to not take out both of their cars there, and it's going to be a battle coming down here into the tunnel turn.
And here comes Ethan Lane from 3rd, looking to the inside of the 83 of Alvarez. Montgomery looking for the lead. Daffin not so easily giving it up. Side by side into turn 2.
Oh, the 93's a little sideways, playing with that right rear tire, heating it up, but he is going to clear Daffin, coming into turn 3 with Ethan Lane smelling blood in the water, hoping to get a line on Daffin here.
So at the moment, you can give the lead to Dustin Montgomery, but the fight is not over yet because Ethan Lane's got a lot of pace under that 26, under the hood of that 26 machine, giving a little bit of a nudge to the 48 of Daffin. He's going to try and look to the inside as here comes Derek Garrison on the outside of Alan Rowell. He is going to take away 7th. Fanning out down. Sorry, carry on. I was just going to say they're fanning out in the back down the front straightaway, but I think this battle for the lead's a little bit more pressing. Tom, back to you.
Yeah, the driver on the move right now that I'm watching is the young Todd Thomas in that Outback Steakhouse Chevrolet Camaro. He started the race, had a little bit of trouble with his internet connection here at iRacing, but he was able to get back in, started the tail, and that first caution brought him to the pack. Now he's fighting for a top 10 position coming into the top 10, looking at that spam car of Alan Roll on older tires.
And Daffin gets way loose off turn 2 there. You saw him swing out wide on entry. That's hurting. I think that's going to hurt the right rear as here comes Ethan Lane down the inside on Daffin. Side by side for third, or for second.
And Derek Garrison also started back in 21st. He's up to P7. Great run for him so far. I do believe he stayed out. He was one of the cars to stay out.
No, Garrison was not one of the cars to stay out.
Well, how about it? That is a really good run for him.
Yeah. And one of his first starts in the Series 2, I believe his first start was back in Texas. I don't think we've seen him since until today, as Ethan Lane takes second over Alec Daffin.
But panning back to that 7th place battle, Todd Thomas on the inside of Eric Crow right now, going to try to get close off of turn 2. He got by that spam car of Alan Roll, but now he's coming on Eric Crow. After that, it's going to be a long road to hoe to get to that one of that best runs of the season with Derek Garrison that you heard Dorman talking about.
3 wide behind. I think that the 92 machine backed out of it in the end, and here comes Kevin Matz on the outside of Bazan. Bazan blocks him up to the wall, and that's going to check up the 50 car and give Dalton a fighting chance on the inside. This is for 15th, but back up to that battle for 8th.
He's cleared for 8th, yeah. Gonna set his sights now on Garrison.
So Thomas takes 8th. Go ahead.
Yeah, and he's got the whole pack behind him coming across the start-finish line, and you know, as we break the gap right here at the start-finish line, that puts him just 1.5 seconds behind Derek Garrison. It'll be interesting to see how he can make up that gap now that he's in clean air.
And a couple of different lines there being taken into turn 1. You see Lee Pierce going out a little bit wider. Alan Rowell going a little bit narrow into turn 1. That does not look to be the preferred line, as Lee Pierce is going to get a run here down the back straightaway. Going to get in the draft of that 94 car. I know Dirty...
You're 100% right, Jonathan. Alan Roll trying to use that outside line, save his tires a little bit. He's on those older tires. He's one of those Ford drivers that stayed out trying to save a set. And as he comes through the tunnel turn, you can see they're really
car in the wall
trouble for him, but not near as much as Eric Crow, who's hard into the wall.
Yeah, Crow got the fence there out of turn 2, out of the tunnel turn. He's falling back there. Now they're going to go side by side for 10th. Lee Pierce takes that spot away from Alan Rowell, who got checked up behind the 07 machine, and he's going to fall back to 11th on those older tires. Back up to the battle for the lead as Lane is closing in on Montgomery. Dorman, over to you.
Really quickly, this was also with the Cup cars and at a totally different time of day, but I was in a lead race with the Cup cars at Pocono, and we discovered that running turn 1 like up against the wall was a lot faster than on the bottom, and it saved your tires. Not sure if it's going to have the same effect for the Xfinity cars, and I've honestly been looking if somebody's been doing it, and nobody really has. So I'm interested to see if anybody will branch out and try it.
Yeah, a while ago, Pocono got some surface updates to the track,
it did.
and
it had some like, grip adjustments, and it's really weird, but it works.
I think what it might, I'm not really sure what they were, because I did test it, and I didn't really notice anything, but I think what it might be is that those upper lanes in 1 and 2 might have been gripped up a little bit to maybe mimic the PJ1 that's been put there in real life. I can't be certain, and I'm not entirely sure if that's what it is. But we'll see if anyone tries to venture up into that 3rd lane here as the race goes on and as the tires start to wear.
Well, we just had a big moment here. We just completed the first stage. With stage winner, first time this season is going to be Dustin Montgomery. He's going to get awarded some points for that. But Ethan Lane with the 2nd place finish in a heated points battle for the season, he may be coming close to passing Jacob Fife.
And now into turns 3 and 4, you see the battle here for 3rd. That's not 3 and 4, that's 3.
Total turn.
Whatever that one
not
is.
Even 3.
No. Well, it is if you count.
Well,
according to you, it is.
You ask.
Yeah.
According to me, yeah, but I don't know what we're going off of.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna say it's 3 turns and forget it about 5 more times.
Right.
Battle for the lead is still kind of heating up, but not really. The gap between them is about 0.2 of a second. I think Ethan Lane's just kind of trying to stay there in the draft, maybe trying to save some fuel. And just try and hang back for now and be there at the end of the race. I know that specifically at Pocono, the draft can be quite powerful. I believe the front straightaway is longer than all of Martinsville. So these straightaways very long and very draft dependent. Not so much in the Xfinity cars, but there is still an effect there as we come around to start lap 22 as they go into the tunnel turn.
You know, Jonathan, you mentioned that, but Ethan Lane last lap was 1/10 faster than that 93 car in front of him, and 2 laps ago he was a tenth and a half faster. It makes me wonder, is he burning up his tires using the draft, or is he just willing to kill everything to be able to pass that 93 car here today?
And Cody
So
Smith got.
I also noticed he closed in 6/10. Wait, what?
I was,
No, 4/10. Excuse me. I can't do math. What is 6 minus 2? 4. Yeah, 4/10. 4/10. Yeah, I can do math. Thank you. 4/10 over the last 3 laps.
well,
I'm sorry for
he
my
has-
lack of math skills.
he has closed in quite a bit. This battle for the lead still continuing as they go down towards turn number 1. I see side by side in the back. I think that's Jay Heichman next to Caitlin Height, who has been having a bit of a rough race here in Pocono after getting the wall on lap 1. She hasn't really been able to recover with a lot of that aero damage to the right-hand side. That's going to get her vulnerable to Jay Heichman, who's going down the inside into turn 1. Alan Rowell continuing to fall back as well as Heichman works down the inside of the 94 car, give the 14th spot to Jay Heichman.
Yeah, and we see Katie here on the inside of Allen Roll. Those old tires not paying off for him as Katie's going to try to dive in on the tunnel turn here. Even with that little bit of aero damage where Allen's able to pull about a car length, I think she's going to be able to clear him here off the tunnel turn and be able to scoot to the outside.
We do have a battle for the lead heating up once again. Ethan Lane and Dustin Montgomery going at it for the lead. He is under a tenth away from him as they come off turn number 4. He's going to be in the draft down the front straightaway. Could Lane mount a charge into turn 1? He just isn't really able to close up. I think that maybe there isn't a lot of a headwind going down there, or maybe this car just doesn't have as much draft as it should, as they are side by side behind for 4th. Tarabuck gets down the inside of Cody Smith.
Yeah, you see Cody get a little bit loose off 1 and 2, trying there for a downscope to get back under Tarabuck there. But, you know, it looks like Cody may have cooked up that right rear just a little bit, heating it up just too much for those Goodyear tires.
Yeah, Cody Smith, not one of the best drivers on the long runs, but very good on the short runs. We saw that last week in Nashville. We might be seeing it again today in Pocono, as Nick Tarabuck continues to pull away in that 4th spot, as this battle for the lead is still getting close.
So I've noticed that Ethan Lane is really good through the tunnel turn. He just can't hold on to it through turns 3 and then back into turn 1.
Well, yeah, he did look pretty good through 3 and 4 that time, or
He did.
3 or
He's
whatever
steady.
it is.
I think he's steady with the 93, but he makes up a lot of time in the tunnel turn.
Well, he might be
He's
looking.
there.
Oh, hold on, he might be looking at a move. No, he does back out of it. But
Follows him.
but interesting thing to note there about the entrance to turn 1. The track starts to bank quite a bit before the actual turn, so if you can make a drive
playing
down the
right.
racetrack. Oh yeah, here he goes.
Yeah. Well, this
Yeah,
is his
here it
turn. He
comes.
knows he can make up time.
I think he's gonna look to the inside. They are side by side drafting off each other as they go down the
But he
Long
gonna
Pond
back out.
straightaway. No.
Yeah, he backed out.
Oh yeah, I think he did. I think he
Dustin
backed out.
backed out.
He's gonna cross him
Yep.
over though. He's gonna try at least, but he does stay behind for now. So Montgomery goes down to P2, and Ethan Lane takes the lead at Pocono.
Yeah, Ethan keys up there on chat, thanking him a little bit. Both those guys, you saw Dustin give him a little bit of extra room in the tunnel turn. Those drivers could have raced each other, and all it would have done is burned up their tires to put them into the clutches of Alec Daffin.
And speaking of Alec Daffin, that 48 car is closing in a little bit from 3rd. He might have been hanging back a little bit early in the run, just saving his tires, and he might now try and make some inroads here on your race leaders.
We also have to note it's only lap 26 of 80. I would not race that hard for this lead. I mean, the chances of a wreck happening and both of you getting taken out, it's not worth it at this point.
Yeah, but it does. Now that we kind of see this battle kind of closing out here and Ethan Lane start to pull away, it makes me wonder if he might just be burning up his tires a little bit more than Dustin Montgomery, because we've seen before in the Integrity Racing League that Ethan Lane isn't one of the best drivers on the long runs, but Pocono is a very different track, so being good at similar tracks or being good on long runs doesn't always carry over here to Pocono, because a lot of what you have to do is very different than what you'd have to do at other tracks. So we'll see what Ethan Lane is able to do here as we come around to start lap 27 of 80. You just see he's drifting up off 4 a little bit more than I think he might like. That might not be helping his tires all that much. I've kind of noticed that at Pocono you want to try and keep a bit of a tight line in 3 and 4, so you're not sliding your tires too much.
Yeah, and Jonathan, one thing that I saw early that I really liked from Ethan Lane when he was chasing down that number 93 Camaro, he was backing his corners up, meaning that he was braking a little bit early, turning down into the apex sooner. So I think he was trying to save that right front tire a little bit, and he was saving all that tire to be able to use it in that tunnel turn you were talking about. And as we talk about the top 3 cars right now, Daffin with a 57.4, Dustin 57.4, Ethan 1/10 faster, showing that he may have used backing up the entry of his corners to save those Goodyear tires here for the end of the stage.
Yeah, I mean, backing up your corners, that's something that's very helpful at pretty much every track that you go to, whether it be a short track, an intermediate, or even a road course. Those front tires really appreciate it when you try and back up those corners, but I don't know how that's going to help his right rear, because if Ethan Lane is really yawing it out through the corners, trying to get a run on Dustin Montgomery, that's going to hurt his rear tires down the front straightaway coming around start lap 29. Lane breaking the draft a little bit. Montgomery just waiting in the wings there. He did run faster by almost a full 10th last time by.
You're 100% right. And as we come into turn 1 here, Dustin picked up the pace a little bit, but the car that we see growing bigger and bigger just out of frame is that purple number 4, that purple and black furniture car of Nick Tarabuck. He just ran the fastest lap on the track that turn. As he comes into coming into this tunnel turn, he was 2/10 faster than Alec Daffin in front of him, and he has his eyes set on the prize.
Yeah, Nick Tarabuck has been one of the most consistent drivers this season, has yet to break through for his first win, but he is looking at a chance at one at least here tonight. He is currently 1.1 seconds away from your race leader, Ethan Lane, but every lap he's just making a couple of inroads, so watch out for that number 4 machine as this run goes on, as Montgomery and Ethan Lane are still going at it for the lead, coming around to start lap 29.
Yeah, and as we come down into turn 1 here, I mean, you can see Nick continuing to gain on Alec Daffin. He's able to brake just a little bit later, but I don't know what the brake balance is in that car. But the other thing you notice is in turn 1 and 2, he hugs that yellow line, something we're not seeing a ton of drivers do. Most of them are running about a half a lane up in the corner, whereas Nick Tarabuck, he's holding it down, crimping the entry, and I think him slowing down that extra couple mile an hour may have hurt him early and set him back here in 4th. But if you notice on the long run, it's gaining him again another 10th on Alec Daffin in front of him, and again the fastest race car at Pocono today right now.
Yeah, I mean, especially on iRacing, just being able to hug that bottom line is usually very, very good for your tires. It's not like that at every track, but it seems like at most tracks it is, and I think we might be seeing that here tonight. As this battle for the lead is continuing, I think one of the main differences between your leaders is that Montgomery tends to take a little bit of a wider line in a turn 1 and parks it on the apex ever so slightly later than Ethan Lane, and I think that's helping him out just a little bit. You'll see it right here. Lane's a little bit narrower in a turn 1, but that time by he might have tried to take away Montgomery's line, but it just seems like Montgomery is a lot lower coming off the corners, which might help his right front. It might not. It kind of varies from track to track and setup to setup, but I think here at Pocono, that is the line that you want to be taking. So Montgomery might just be playing the long game here.
Yeah, and you can see that gap here in the tunnel turn. You watch Ethan able to gain half a car length. Well, he's going to get a little bit loose right here, dragging that right rear tire, but Montgomery seems to lose about half a car traditionally in that tunnel turn, and he has to work in the other 2 turns to try to gain it back, and he's really struggling with that. But it looks like he is taking, like we talked about, a little bit lower line, a little bit more conservative, a little later on the throttle, whereas Ethan is cooking that right rear tire on that Chevrolet Camaro.
Yeah,
right there for 3rd.
And Montgomery right there for the lead. They're bump drafting in a turn 1. That's all right.
This will be interesting.
Okay. I've seen that in the Cup car, but that's with the new Super Speedway Aero package. I am yet to see that in the Xfinity car until today. I wonder if maybe Montgomery's just playing some mind games here with Ethan Lane, trying to maybe say to him, hey, I'm right here, but I'm not going to pass you. I'm just going to ride right on your bumper. That can definitely be a useful tactic, to just try and get in their heads, and that's something that we haven't seen too much this season. But I think Montgomery might just be riding right behind him, just trying to say, hey, I'm here, I could pass you, but I'm not going to just yet. But he is going to get a run here out of the tunnel turn. He could have another shot at it into 3 and 4.
Well, we saw Dustin yet again, back off just a little bit, and after Ethan Lane was loose at the tunnel turn last time, you could tell that Montgomery understands that Lane may be pushing his tires a little bit too hard, and that may have been what got him the lead early, was sacrificing early tires then for track position now. And I think Montgomery's trying to push the issue here, knowing that they right now may be the 2 cars that could win this race.
Yeah, I think they're definitely the 2 favorites at the moment. But Nick Tarabuck, he's just sitting there in 4th, just riding behind Alec Daffin.
Under a second. It's down to a second back from the leader, though. He's Oh, I'm having a stroke. I'm sorry. He's closed in a little bit.
Yeah, but look at that line that Alec Daffin is taking down to turn 1. He's arcing it out really wide. I got to imagine that's hurting his right front because he's just having to drag it from the top of the track all the way to the bottom. And at a track like Pocono, I feel like that's not going to be a good thing. I know at some tracks you want to take a really wide line, but I don't think Pocono is one of them. As this battle for the lead maybe starting to taper off a little bit as Montgomery falls off the bumper of Ethan Lane just a little bit going into turn 3.
Yeah, we've seen Ethan Lane drive a little bit up here off of 4 running that. Look at him slide that right rear tire, use that 4-wheel drift to get that car moved out to the wall there. You can tell the car's handling really well for him, but the other thing you can tell is that he's really working on those tires, which could be a detriment here as we come into the end of stage 2 here in just 7 laps.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing that you noticed, that you pointed out earlier on in the race is that Ethan Lane was really backing up his corners trying to save his right front, but sometimes when you get too hyper-focused on saving your right front, you forget about your right rear and you end up burning that one up instead. By the way, another thing I noticed that Jody Banfield is getting quite a bit closer to Derek Garrison, but he just drove onto the apron in turn 1, so maybe disregard that. As we go back to the battle for the lead, he's just...
Thomas down to 9th.
Yeah,
a few laps ago, I saw him go all the way up to turn 1. I thought he was about to kill the wall. He ended up backing it way down, but he's burned up his stuff for sure. But yeah, he's down to 9th.
And another thing to point out, Caitlin Height has come into the pit lane for tires, so she is a lap down, but on fresher tires than the leaders. So will she try and unlap herself? Might be something to try, but I think the rest of these drivers are going to stay out for stage points. But maybe not Dustin Montgomery. This could be an opportunity for him to dive into the pit lane since he isn't full-time in the series, to just dive into the pit lane, get the undercut on Ethan Lane, and take the lead that way.
Yeah.
Another thing to point out, Caitlin Height, it might play a factor for this lead if she tries to get around and unlap herself the hard way. She's getting around Nick Terrebonne now.
It would not surprise me, so I'm guessing that if you're Nick Terrebonne, you just, well, no, she's going to drop back in line.
I'd let her go.
Yeah, I don't think I want to be held up too much. Maybe in turn 3, though, because turn 3 seems to be the best place to kind of let somebody go other than maybe turn 1. And here comes Dustin Montgomery with a big run out of the tunnel turn and headed down towards turns 3, or just turn 3. I'm so used to saying turns 3 and 4 that I cannot get it out of my head. But he's still riding there just right on the bumper. Just waiting to make his move as we get closer to the end of the stage. Yeah, she's there.
She's trying to get her lap back.
I don't know if she is. Maybe she's just kind of riding behind there. But if I'm Terrebonne, I'm pulling over to the left-hand side here and letting her go on the outside in a turn 1.
Said.
All
he
right.
Just said that he would. I think.
Well, he has not.
He said something.
Yeah, and Caitlin is being nice here, letting everyone.
There it is.
Yeah, she's being very conscientious of the leaders here. On lead lap tires here, these new tires, you're running high into the 55s, low 56s. Right now, with leaders here into the high 57s, Caitlin is just being courteous of the leaders here. Very nice of her, great sportsmanship.
Oh yeah, look at that run she got off the tunnel turn.
Yeah, she is flying right now, but she does have those fresher tires. Might be going for...
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'm going to have to imagine that that's a 2-stop strategy that she's playing at here. Yeah, because you're not going to be able to make it on 1 stop just like that, and she's going to have a huge run here on Dustin Montgomery down the front straightaway, giving him a little bit of a bump draft there to close up to Ethan Lane. It's gonna help him quite a bit. He's got a big speed advantage going into turn 1 here. Is Caitlin Height gonna try and make it around the outside of both of them? I think she has the pace to do it. Down to turn 1. Montgomery is there. Here comes Caitlin Height sailing it into that second lane. Oh, this is gonna get close.
Oh.
Ethan Lane reluctant to let her go now. That's gonna just push the issue a little bit further, honestly. I don't know. Yeah, but
you should have let her go.
I honestly think he should have. I feel like it's better to let him go in 1 and 2 than it will be in 3 and 4. But that's also going to let Montgomery stay in front of Caitlin Height for a little bit longer here. I think Height's going to go for it on the high side here in 1 and 2. It would make sense to me as they get down into 3 and 4.
Third just behind him heating up. Alec Daffin must have got distracted here. Nick Trebush is going to take the position on the inside here, or at least battle.
Oh, contact for the lead! But it was for the lead, but with a lap car, Ethan Lane gets sideways, and here comes Dustin Montgomery to the inside. Side by side as they get down towards turn number 1. Montgomery...
It's going to be hard fought into turn 1 here as Montgomery follows it in on the inside. Those old tires are really, really difficult to control on the inside unless you've been saving like Montgomery has. You see Ethan Lane make some corrections in the steering wheel there, and they're door to door coming through the middle of the the back straightaway here into the tunnel turn.
And
He's
if
got the runoff though. He's got the advantage going into the tunnel turn.
and if you're Alec Daffin or Nick Tarabuck, this is exactly what you want to see. The two leaders
Look at how
close
much time
quarters.
They're closing.
Yeah, they're flying right now, and Montgomery having to stay in line. 3 to go in the stage this time by. It is getting spicy for the race lead. Ethan Lane, though, able to use all the right lanes to keep his number 26 machine in front.
Absolutely terrible.
I know.
You know, guys, one thing that's interesting, Jonathan called it out on almost lap 5 here, but we talked about shifting into the slow corners here, and one thing that you see in common with the 48 and the 4 car on old tires and slower speeds, downshifting to 3rd gear, railing it into 4 off of turn 3 there, coming to the start-finish line, and it's gaining him a ton of momentum off the corner.
And Ethan Lane slips up a little bit. That's going to open the door for Montgomery. He's going to have a little bit of a run down the back straightaway. Coming to the tunnel turn now. Is Montgomery going to make his move? No, he's going to push him. He's going to bump draft him all the way. That's going to give Ethan Lane a little bit more speed than he might be expecting. Lane a little wide on entry. Maybe an unintentional bump and run at play? No, they stay single file, coming around to 2 to go in stage 1, or stage 2.
Treebush with the exact same patience in 4th there, right on the back of that Alex Bowman, Alec Daffin car, and they are all lined up like the line at local Cedar Point, trying to ride a roller coaster. These guys are here to roller coaster here in the Poconos, and they are all in a queue.
And Montgomery got checked up off turn 4. That's going to let Alec Daffin have a big run down the front straightaway. Is he going to make his way to the inside? He stays in line for now. One thing that you got to consider, Pocono. Oh, contact!
Oh, he gets him!
Shoves him deep into turn 1. That's going to open up the door for Tarabuck to get 2 in 1 here at Pocono down the back straightaway once again. And it's the 2-for-1 special for Nick Tarabuck as he takes away 2nd from Montgomery and Alec Daffin. Great positioning by Nick Tarabuck.
Ethan Lane needs to see. This is all he needs to see.
It might not be, though, because keep in mind, Tarabuck, one of the fastest cars on track while we weren't battling it out. So now he has no one between him and Ethan Lane. 0.8 of a second is all that separates the top 2.
Yeah, Montgomery's been backing up his entry to save his tires a little bit, and I don't think Alec Daffin was expecting that going into turn 1. Just a little bit of contact, a little bit of air underneath the rear end of that car, and I thought we were going to have a caution there. Great save by the 93 of Montgomery.
Yeah, incredible save by Dustin. 1 to go, stage 2. Ethan Lane is leading. He is looking almost like a lock to win this stage, but Nick Tarabuck probably not too concerned with the stage win here. He wants to go after this race win. By the way, pits are closed. They did close at the end of lap 38. But Nick Tarabuck, he wants to go after this race win, and he is fighting to get up to the bumper of Ethan Lane. The gap came down about 1/10 in one corner there.
Brad Fullman on fresh tires in that number 19. I know he's a lap down and trying to do what the 00 tried to do, but wonder if he'll play a factor.
Tarabuck takes another 10th out of Lane's lead there in the tunnel turn. So it is obvious to me that Nick Tarabuck has the best tires in the field at the moment. We saw this earlier in the season at Dover, where Nick Tarabuck kind of rode behind the field. Ethan Lane pulled away, but then in the closing stage of the race, Ethan Lane lost all of his pace and opened up the door for Nick Tarabuck and I guess our very own, but with an asterisk, Tom Wetmore to fight it out for the win. In the end, it was Wetmore who got the win, but Nick Tarabuck was very, very close. We could be seeing something similar here today at Pocono.
Yeah, and one thing that I got to give credit to Treebush here, as he closes down on the leader, closing down on that Ethan Lane, he's one of the most patient, succinct drivers here in the league. He catches up to Ethan, he will let it marinate, and he'll make the move when it's a way that both drivers can be passed cleanly, and one that'll guarantee that Nick Treebush takes the lead tonight in most laps completed in the 2021 Integrity season. One thing that Nick Tarabush is absolutely hoping for. While he couldn't get the win at Dover that night, I was happy to prevail. Tonight, man, he's hungrier than ever, and I think he's going to do whatever it takes to win.
Is his last name Tarabush? Have I been pronouncing it wrong this whole time, or is that just like a joke?
Insider stuff. He's the old Treebush, as you see if you were in Discord tonight, you'd be able to see the number 4 of Treebush up in the lobby here. You're more than welcome to hop in and talk with him if you're one of the drivers here at the Integrity Racing League. But Nick Tarabuck is in second here, closing up on first.
I just wanted to make sure. I didn't know if the CH was pronounced like a sh or like a ch or like a k, and I figured it was a k, but I just wanted to make sure. Down the back straightaway, Tarabuck is all over the bumper of Ethan Lane with Brad Fulham looking to the inside to try and and get closer to unlapping himself, but Nick Tarabuck has a massive pace advantage right now over Ethan Lane. I don't think it's going to be too close between the leaders here, especially if Nick Tarabuck decides to go for an undercut on Ethan Lane. We'll see when these drivers decide to pit, because I have a feeling that they'll have to come in. They'll have to come in soon.
Brad Fulman, he's not in a great spot right now. He needs to get around these guys.
Yeah,
The leaders need to let him go.
he's getting the. I think that's what Tarabuck was doing down there in a 3 and 4. Unfortunately, he couldn't really get the run here. I wonder what's going to happen with Ethan Lane once Fulham gets there, because he's might have to make a mid-corner swap from the bottom line to the high side. Is he going to do it, or is he just going to ride behind? I think Fulham, not wanting to get in the way of your race leaders here, as James Bazan comes around to unlap himself as well, and nearly gets in the wall off turn 1.
Well, the thing about...
that really hurt the corner. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Tom.
That really hurt the corner exit there, the 93 of Dustin Montgomery there when that Taki's car was on the outside. I know the 93 trying to make additional headway wherever possible to try to get back into this top couple positions here, but man, as Nick Trebush here trying to go around Brad Fulham on those fresh tires.
Yeah, this isn't good. I think Fulham needs to make quicker work of Ethan Lane here. He can't just ride in front of the lead lap cars on those fresher tires. You just got to get a move on eventually, and I think now he's going to get to the inside of Ethan Lane as James Bazan comes up to the bumper of Tarabuck. And if I am Nick Tarabuck, I think I'm going to let him go here in a turn 1 and 2. You don't want him to compromise your middle of the corner speed.
Yeah, a big difference from when Brad caught Ethan here. Ethan's going to be able to tuck down underneath Brad in between these two cars, and then let the 90 car buy off too. I mean, those couple tenths right there is what can separate you from getting passed by a great driver like Nick Tarabuck.
Oh, but this is going to be sketchy in a turn. Yeah, I think you noticed it too. It's going to be a little sketchy in a turn 2. I think Bazan's going to ride behind for now, but I have a feeling that this is going to compromise Ethan Lane's turn 3. But I'll be honest, I'm not really sure what line Bazan is running. That's kind of awkward. Okay, what is he doing? Okay. James Bazan is running the James Bazan line here at Pocono, which is not a good one. But now I think he's going to get to the outside here of Ethan Lane and might just be able to breeze past him, but that's going to hurt his exit. That's going to let Tarabuck close back up a little bit, even if it's only slightly. Lap 45 underway.
Yeah, this battle for the lead continues to heat up a little bit with comers and goers. I mean, as you mentioned, we had fresh tires in the way, which blocked that clean air of Ethan Lane. That number 26 car allowed Trebush to close back up, gain a 10th on Ethan, and that trend continues to happen here as we come down off of turn 1 and into turn 2, the tunnel turn. You see Nick get a little bit of a run on Ethan. I wonder if he's already planning on a move 1, 2, maybe 3 laps from now on how he's going to be able to get around from Ethan as he makes huge gains on the entry into 2.
Yeah, Tarabuck, now with no lap cars in the way, he can resume his pursuit of Ethan Lane, and he is taking a lot of time out of his race lead. It is very obvious to me that Nick Tarabuck has the best long-run car, but he's just got to get that pass done on Ethan Lane. I think he might be setting him up here through turns 3 and nothing else. As he gets the run here down the front straightaway, a little bit of a later apex there for Ethan Lane is going to get him the run as we come to lap 46.
Really quick comment about it. Dustin Montgomery brushed the wall out of the tunnel turn. There's not significant damage to the right side, but there is visible damage, so not sure if that's going to affect him.
And it is Pocono, so damage means quite a bit here. I mean, well, that depends on who.
Yeah.
Well, that depends on who you ask, because having watched that league race that you were in a few days ago, those cars were absolutely destroyed and fighting for the race lead. So we'll see if similar holds true.
But yeah.
I don't know. Frisch had a little bit of left side damage, but I guess you're not leaning on that side as much. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
By me.
Yeah, it definitely was caused by you, but you know what? That's beside the point. The real point is that we got a good battle for the lead going on here, and Montgomery might have a little bit of right side damage. I don't think that'll affect him too much, but we'll just have to wait and see. As for the race lead, Ethan Lane slides up off turn 4. That is going to give the run to Nick Tarabuck, but not enough of a run to get too close here this time by. Lap 47 underway here at Pocono.
Believe it or not, out of the top 3 with the fastest lap, it would be Dustin Montgomery. So maybe he's just waiting in the wings.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me too much. I know he's very good at Pocono, so if his damage isn't too bad, he might be able to just keep going. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Is it closer to the right front or the right rear?
More to the right front.
Okay. That might hurt him on entry a little bit. I don't know about exit. because generally you tend to start leaning on that right rear side of the car
It's
on
not much,
corner
though.
exit. Yeah, I think he might be okay.
He probably is.
All right, looks like we're gonna have Ethan Lane coming down pit road this time. He just called it out, pitting in the chat. It sounds to me now we have Tarabuck here. Looks like he's gonna follow him into pit road.
Top three. So this will
look at the...
Whoa, Montgomery!
Montgomery.
That could have been...
Is that technically on pit road?
I believe it is. If I'm gonna be honest, if the iRacing gods weren't feeling as nice, we could see a number 4 machine in the pit wall. Luckily, no, yeah, I can say it. No netcode was able to strike today, so I think both of them got very lucky there. As Ethan Lane slid past his box.
Lane.
Yeah, he slid past his box a tiny bit. Not quite on his marks.
Back up though.
That's going to be lead implications there for Ethan Lane. Alec Daffin rotates to the lead as he's trying to put another lap on those tires, but this could be huge for Nick Treebush. We'll see who launches first. Treebush.
Yeah, he's got the run. Montgomery, though.
Montgomery.
Wow.
Let's talk about Montgomery's entrance onto pit road.
Yeah.
He closed in so much time from that.
I mean, those are the risks you got to take if you want to try and gain a spot on pit road. So now it'll be down to Alec Daffin. So we'll see if Alec Daffin can put together whatever the Alec Daffin equivalent of hammer time is as he gets his in-lap done. He is now on pit road going for that overcut. The rest of the field probably staying out hoping for a caution or just trying to get fresher tires towards the end of the race. But Dustin Montgomery...
Daffin's on pit road now.
Yeah, Daffin is on pit road now, so that was his in-lap. But Dustin Montgomery, what a pit entrance by that number 93 machine.
I mean, he basically pulled up all but next to Nick Tarabuck.
Yeah,
he closed in at least five car lengths.
Yeah, he was flying onto the pit road. I'm honestly a little surprised he did not speed, because that was going to be right on the limit. But now, we'll see if Ethan Lane can use some of his short run pace to try and run back down Dustin Montgomery. Not a super long run to the end, just over 30 laps, so maybe tire saving going to be a little less crucial than it was in the opening stages of this race. But we'll see if Montgomery can just pull away here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see with that right front damage where the fender is separated from the bumper just a little bit to see how that works. But it seems to be working fine for Todd Thomas, a driver who, again, we talked about those internet issues earlier, staying out here, a couple older tires, trying to get himself some laps led. He wasn't able to get by Alec Daffin at the line, but he is going to come across the front straightaway right now across the start-finish line and lead his first lap of the race in that Outback Steakhouse Camaro.
So how about it? Todd Thomas leading away here at Pocono, of course, on strategy. He has been on these tires for 37 laps along with Jody Banfield. The rest of the field only been on them for 1 as Montgomery gets around Guillermo Alvarez, another one of the drivers. Actually, no, Alvarez went for the mega undercut on the field, took about 6 laps, pitted about six laps before Dustin Montgomery, but now comes out with 6 lap older tires behind Dustin Montgomery. So a valiant effort by Guillermo Alvarez. Unfortunately, I don't think it is going to work out as Ethan Lane now closes up on the bumper of the 83 car.
Yeah, we can hear on the spotter radio here on Channel 2, Todd Thomas joking along with his crew chief saying that there's oil on the Long Pond straightaway here, praying for a caution, knowing that he's going to get ran down after he gets off pit road here, as Ethan Lane and Montgomery are closing in on him.
Yeah, and Ethan Lane might be closing in on Montgomery a little bit as well. 0.7 of a second, now 0.8 of a second, as Lane had to get around Alvarez. But we'll see what the gap is. Last time by, I think Lane's going to run much slower because he had to get around the slower car of Guillermo Alvarez. But now the gap between them about a second, so we'll see how that develops over the course of this lap. Huh?
Tom? What are we doing there?
Oh, Tom Wetmore's pulling out on track. Developments here at Pocono, and the engine is still blown, Tom. Tom, your car is still smoking.
We put the spotter in the car here for 1 lap. Try to get 1 more lap here on the cars behind us. So,
all right.
Rumor is there's a driver trying to gain a lap on me. Can't be having that.
So Tom Wetmore, that smoking 51 machine. If you're Todd Thomas, you're saying, oh, there's a slow car, we gotta throw it. But something tells me they're not gonna throw it.
Oh, well, Todd Thomas
is in pit road.
Yeah.
Well, he's given it up. I think he's given up on a caution. That is gonna hand the lead over.
Probably run it dry.
Yeah, that is gonna hand the lead over to Dustin Montgomery with Ethan Lane chasing 1.3 seconds between them. I think Montgomery might be trying to build a little bit of a gap here between him and Lane. As here comes Tom Wetmore down the short chute.
Yeah, the old Toyota Supra here, unfortunately, had a little bit of a failure here coming into 3 and 4. We'll bring her down pit road here and pull her behind the pit
It
wall.
seems like a massive failure if you ask me.
Yeah, well, we don't want the folks at Toyota to get all upset about that, so we don't call it that.
Yeah, no, this is a Toyota feature. It's the smoke screen. It's part of every new 2021 Supra. You know, I probably shouldn't say that. All right, lap 52 underway. Montgomery still trying to put a gap on Ethan Lane as Tarbuck tries to run him down. Coming around to start lap 53 next time by. Yeah. All right, lap 53 starting this time around as Montgomery continues to pull away from the field.
So a 56-1, believe it, yeah, 56-1 by Dustin Montgomery and a 56-4 by Ethan Lane.
Wow.
But also a 56-4 by Nick Tarbuck behind him. I wonder if he's just trying to keep pace with Ethan, knowing that Ethan ran Montgomery down late. Makes you wonder if they're playing a tire game here to run to the end here at lap 80.
Yeah, and
That could be.
And all this pace out of Dustin Montgomery makes me wonder if he might just not care about his tire wear. He might just be trying to put so much of a gap on Ethan Lane that he just can't run him in even with the tire advantage. So we'll see how that plays out. We are closing in on 20 to go.
There's no doubt that his spotter has talked to him about that damage to the right front, and it's not going to take a fair race in order to win, so he's going to have to operate on a slightly different strategy than Ethan Lane in order to take home the W tonight in that unsponsored Camaro.
I don't want to say anything, but if we don't get a caution, it's going to be really close on fuel for these top guys.
Caitlin Height slammed the wall out of turn 2. Just thought I'd let you all know as Brad Patton gets around her, Height in the wall. That's going to open up the door for Brad Phillip in the 19 to get around the 00 car. But Dorman, what do you have on fuel?
So, well, you know me as your spotter, but I'm never the best with fuel mileage. Roughly 30 laps is what I'm looking at. 30 to 35 laps for a fuel run, and the leaders pitted on that 48. So they're gonna have to. It's gonna be close.
You know what's interesting about that? If, in theory, these top 3, or I guess top 4 now, are 1 lap short, you know who pitted 1 lap later than them? Alec Daffin.
You know who pitted a lot later than him?
Who pitted a lot later than them?
Oh, I lied. Never mind.
Okay, well, no one.
Sorry.
No one did.
No one.
So yeah, we'll see if anyone starts to save fuel here. We'll have to see if they're on the lower end of that 30 to 35 range.
Ethan Lane might be doing that. Based off of his pace drop-off, Nick Tarbuck as well.
Why don't we see if he's clutching it?
I'm gonna take a listen to Nick.
Yeah, a great driver there, Todd Thomas, 78. We saw him take that lead late. He probably stretched the lead the longest there. He last pitted around, like, I don't know, let's call it lap 13 or 14. He was one of those drivers who pitted early. And according to my calculations, including those caution laps, he made it 39. So, Dorman, we talk about that 35-lap pit window. You're talking about guys who are going to be right on the line. God forbid a green-white checkered.
He also was the last car to pit.
Todd Thomas?
So Todd Thomas, he was the last car to pit. He pitted a lap ago. No, 2 laps ago.
Well, one thing to consider is that if the leaders run out of fuel on the last lap, right now he is 30 seconds away from race leader Dustin Montgomery.
True.
So even if he runs out of fuel, there's always a chance that he will not be able to catch up to him. So we'll have to see, because, I mean, we talked about it. Pocono has a tendency to produce these fuel mileage finishes, which always tend to produce a very interesting... Oh, what's going on?
He got a little sideways coming out of turn 3 as Caitlin Height comes to pit road.
So Caitlin Height coming in again. I don't know if this is to retire the car. She's only been out on track for... Well, it doesn't say anymore.
I believe this is scheduled, actually.
Oh, right, because she is one of the drivers on the 2-stop.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I think this is scheduled because she last pitted on lap 30. So that was 26 laps ago.
Yeah, and with these drivers running 55 and 56-second laps on their fastest tires here, and she ran a 58.6 before she decided to bring her car to this pit crew here. Yeah. You're talking a 2-second gap per lap. There's some time to be made up there.
Whoa! Kyle Vincent Gilbert just went from the bottom of the track, or at least out of frame, to shooting back up onto the racing line. I don't know if he was trying to have some fun and break the draft against no one, but that was definitely dangerous. I mean, I'm not counting it out. I've seen people do it.
Like you.
Yeah, like me.
Yeah.
Didn't I do it somewhere stupid like a short track?
Yeah. Huh?
Okay. Might get on the way here of Nick Tarabuck.
Oh.
Yeah, that got a little close.
I did.
Nick Tarabuck trying to use that little bit of air that 58 is putting off there to try to get just that little bit of a slingshot. Any advantage you can get on a long green flag run like this, as he started to lose the draft of Ethan Lane in front of him as Ethan tries to run down Montgomery.
And speaking of Ethan Lane trying to run down Montgomery, he is starting to run him down. I don't know if Montgomery made a mistake, but Lane took 0.2 of a second out of his advantage that time by. 23 to go here at Pocono.
Yeah, and Montgomery continues to back up the corner, kind of like how he saw Ethan do earlier and get by him. You can tell that Montgomery's went to school here from Ethan and learned how to save his tires a little bit. Even though he ran fast early, I think with a comfortable lead where he's not in the draft of that Ethan Lane, that fast number 26 car, I think now that he's gained a little bit of a lead, he's backing up, trying to save those tires a little bit, maybe save a little bit of fuel. And as he brings it down into turn 3 here, that flat black Camaro is looking fast like a stealth bomber.
Yeah, and I didn't hear any fuel saving out of the top 3 that time by, so I think a lot of these drivers maybe think that they're good, or might be hoping that their fuel calculators are a little bit off. Or might just be pushing out the fuel saving to the end. 22 to go.
I think Nick Tarabuck is clutching.
Well, let's listen in.
I just spent the last lap listening to him. In turns 1 and 3, he sounds like he's clutching it in. Either that or he's just really off the throttle.
Yeah, it sounds like he's just backing off the throttle there, but definitely getting in it late, trying to save some of that Sunoco Racing fuel in that Furniture number 4 car. And it's interesting. He's saving tires, saving fuel. I think he knows that on the short run, he may not be able to catch the cars in front of him, but we've seen it all season long, Jonathan. On the long run, that 4 car goes on an absolute assault.
Well, take a look at those the revs there on the tachometer there.
That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I don't.
It drops more than what I think it should if he was just letting off, especially in turn 3.
Well,
watch you going into 3.
No, that looks about normal.
It does.
If he was clutching it, that would fall down to around 2K. So I don't think he's. Okay. I don't think so. Well, why don't we take a look at Ethan Lane?
But Dorman, I think you're right. You know what you can see that Nick is doing. Nick, earlier we talked about it. He was downshifting to 3rd gear, getting a run off of turn 1 and turn 3, and now he's staying in 4th gear. That might be a little bit of a fuel saving method, and maybe that extra 10th he was gaining by shifting into 3rd, maybe he's giving it up now to try to save a little bit of that Sunoco fuel.
That's probably the case.
And keep in mind, if you can reduce your on throttle time, I think that'll help with your fuel saving as well. I'm no expert in trying to make Sunoco fuel last longer than it should, but I have a feeling that doing that is just going to help out a little bit, as we have trouble on the back straightaway. I see some smoke, but they are gone, so don't worry about it. Yeah, I don't see any clutching out of the top. Oh! Well, what I do see out of the top 3 is Dustin Montgomery putting that car in 3rd gear, coming through turn 3. I don't see anyone doing it in turn 1, though. That's what I did when I raced this track, and it worked out all right.
Did it?
Yeah, it did. I finished 3rd. Thanks for asking. All right, 20 to go.
Race last week. Or this past weekend.
No, I was talking about.
I'm just saying.
I did.
I'm just saying.
All right, well, you know what? Never mind that.
Yeah. Oh, figured it out. It was Alan Rowell, in the 94 spam machine.
Man,
cut the wall off the tunnel turn and then killed the inside wall.
Yeah, just spammed into the outside wall. I don't know. Nope. All right. A second now between your race leaders. Lane is starting to reel in Dustin Montgomery, who might have overestimated the amount of a gap he would be able to pull by pushing early on in the stint, because he is now coming back towards the 26 of Lane. And you can hear him shifting.
Faster.
Yeah, and you can hear Montgomery shifting down in 3 and 4.
Actually, Montgomery's the slowest of the top 3.
Yeah, I really think he burnt up his tires trying to get away from the field.
Saving.
I don't know. I think if he was saving, he wouldn't be putting it in 3rd. That just seems like a lot to manage with shifting. It just seems like shifting, clutching, and all of that stuff on top of trying to get around the track just seems like he'd be dropping off more. So I don't think that he's saving. I just think that he might have burnt up his stuff.
Yeah, and Ethan Lane improved the gap to a 2nd flat there, and as they come across the line this time by, I mean, talk about a driver who's really moved fast. He picked up yet another 10th on Dustin Montgomery. Ethan is on kill mode.
And I believe Ethan Lane is, despite a lot of his strong performances, only going after his second win on the season, and one of those, his Talladega win, might be a little bit questionable to some, depending on who you ask. And actually, it's not even listed as a win for him. It is listed as not having a winner at all, because he did door slam Jay Heichman coming to the line, and the admins were none too pleased with that, and took away the win, gave it to nobody. So he does only have one official win on the season. 2 if you count times he crossed the checkered, the line with the checkered flag being displayed to him. So he is going for his second win on the season.
Yeah, and nothing against Ethan here. He's always in the hunt every week. Obviously, Talladega, unfortunately, a small mistake there. But as we talk about Martinsville in second, hunting for the win. We talk about Dover, a clear favorite all day. And we talk about Nashville doing really well. And then tonight again, you know, facing a new driver in Dustin Montgomery, someone who he doesn't have a lot of experience with, new driver on the track, right? You try to learn the racecraft of the drivers around you, and Ethan thought he had it held early, but then Dustin watched Ethan and improved even more. So it'll be really interesting here, as like I said, last time by, Ethan, instead of just being 1/10, a tenth and a half faster, so he's making that gap close even quicker as he now gets in the draft of Dustin Montgomery. May push the nose a little bit more into the corners, but down this straightaway, basically it's like Montgomery is just having a rope and pulling Ethan Lane in.
Yeah, but
down to 6/10.
And
he's closing.
But do keep in mind that catching is one thing, passing is another, and Pocono is not one of the easier tracks to get a run off the corner. We saw it on the Saturday version of the doubleheader when Kyle Larson took about 10 laps to get around Alex Bowman, despite his tire advantage. Now, dirty air isn't going to be as much of a factor here, but I think that just goes to show that it's very difficult to get the pass done here at Pocono, and we might see it here in the closing stages of this race. 17 to go, half a second between the leaders, and do not count out Nick Tarabuck just yet.
You guys are 100% right. As we talked about earlier, you remember you remember that midnight in Montgomery, Dustin Montgomery let Ethan go in the tunnel turn there and just said, hey man, I understand we're here for a long time. We're going to be racing here all night. I want to go ahead and let you go and hope that you'll repay that favor later. Dorman, Jonathan, let me ask you a question. As we come down here with just 15 to go, do you think that Montgomery's going to give Ethan the tunnel turn again? Do you think he's going to let him by?
No, not even close. If I was in Dustin's position, I would be blocking Ethan all the way to the apron. It's for a win, man. He can't give it up that easily.
Yeah, 16 to go. We're coming to the end of this. Now's the time where you're going to start defending.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there is a bounty tonight here in the Integrity Racing League. If you are a new coming driver, a driver with less than 8 starts, you can come into the Integrity Racing League pending admin approval. And if you win tonight, there's a bounty on the line of some dollars. So to learn more, obviously join the Integrity Racing League Facebook group sponsored here by Pro Powder and Paint. But an excellent opportunity to earn a little bit of cash. And as Montgomery faces intense pressure from Ethan Lane, a veteran in this league, he's got to think, it's money on my mind, baby.
Here we go. This is going to be for the lead. How aggressive will Montgomery get? And keep in mind, if he does decide to block Ethan Lane down to the apron, we still got a little bit of space below the apron. We saw that in 2017 here at Pocono. Will we see it again tonight? It'd make for a very exciting finish. 15 to go.
Yeah, they are hard into 1 and 2 here. Ethan Lane doing that thing like we talked about earlier, backing up the corner, getting that left front splitter and some fresh air down on the paint. And I think he's just going to ride here now. He's got 14 laps to make this move. He can relax, take a deep, basically a breath of fresh air. Oh, wait, just kidding. We're doing this at 182 mile an hour. These guys are on the edge of their seats, even though they're strapped in.
Well, I don't know if any of them are actually strapped in. Depends on the complexity of their sim rig, but sure, they're strapped in here. They're ready to go. 14 laps to go. They're going really fast. And speaking of going really fast, we're going to one of the fastest road courses in America next week. Road America, Monday night, same time, same place. I'm excited for that because Road America and road courses in general are very cool. 14 to go, and Ethan Lane is all over Dustin Montgomery.
Hey, Jonathan, are you interested in a little bit of heartbreak live on the broadcast?
Sorry, come again? Dorman, just talk through your entire sentence.
Wow, okay.
My bad, Dorman.
You good, man. You good.
Update from the Integrity Racing League. Unfortunately, due to the Independence Day holiday, I do believe that we will not be racing at Road America next week on July 5th.
Well, we'll race eventually because I will pay them to race at Road America. It can be Thursday at midnight. We will make a race at Road America happen. 14 to go.
I will pay them more than boats will pay them if we don't race Road America.
Hey, what do you have against Road America?
I don't like road course. You know my history with road courses.
You don't.
You would understand.
Your history at road courses is giving up halfway through and finding a cheat in the game to get laps back. All right, 14 to go. Dustin Montgomery has held on pretty well. Has held on pretty well so far. Ethan Lane is there, and keep in mind, fuel mileage might be a factor as we get towards the end of this race. Tarabuck's kind of fallen off the back. I don't think his tires are in as good a shape as he might have hoped.
Yeah, and again, as we talk about these lead cars, obviously these pit stops have spread out the pack just a little bit, but Derek Garrison has fresh tires here in 15th. He's going to actually get past Nick Tarabuck here. The thing is, though, Nick Tarabuck is going to get towed around the track by Derek Garrison after that happens. And guys, what happened after we saw Ethan and Montgomery battle it out up there for 15 laps? We saw the top 4 get within car lengths of each other. It's going to come down to a wild finish here in just 12 laps, I got a feeling.
And here comes Ethan Lane to the inside, side by side into turn 3. Montgomery on the high side. Is Ethan Lane going to move him up the track? They nearly touch. He had to back out of the move, side by side, down the front straightaway, but Montgomery beats him off the corner. He gets the drag race won. Down the front straightaway, Montgomery holds on and extends his advantage ever so slightly as they begin the dash back towards turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, and guys,
yeah?
What lap are we on?
We are on lap 69 with 12 laps to go.
Nice.
Oh, someone had to say it.
I'm sorry.
Someone had to say it. All right, 12 to go. Derek Garrison, like you said, closing in on these top 2 from a lap down. One of the nicer liveries in the field, but that is aside the point. I just think that car looks really nice on the Xfinity Mustang. I'm a big fan of the Xfinity Mustang, Dorman. I think you know that.
I know you know.
Yeah.
I know you are.
All right, 12 to go, and Montgomery is pulling away a little bit over Ethan Lane here.
Yeah, what I think could happen here, Ethan looks like he's backed up just a little bit off Montgomery. He's going to let Derek go and then tuck him behind him, see if he's going to hold up that 93 a little bit. No, he's just going to use him as a tow. If the 15 pulls under the 93 here, like I suspect he may do, that could infringe on his line, give Ethan a great path through as we come out of 1.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to go to the inside. I think that if I'm Garrison, I'm just going to make it work on the high side. Yeah, that's what I would think as well. There goes Garrison to the outside. Very respectful, very classy of him, and he is going to take away, or he's going to unlap himself and get his way back onto the lead lap as Ethan Lane goes a little wide off turn 1 there.
He was sideways. He was pedaling, right? You see that?
Yeah, he got sideways. I think he might have, when he was trying to get around Montgomery, might have just heated up his tires a little bit more than he's used to and might have gotten a little bit sideways there. But this isn't over until it's over.
Now you see that front end damage to the 93 that we talked about almost 30 laps ago start to play a little bit. He pushed the nose a little bit behind that Busch car, and now they're nose to tail yet again with Ethan Lane downshifting to 3rd. Fuel mileage out the window. We're going for checkers here.
Yeah, but I don't know if fuel mileage out the window is a good call just yet. Lane did not get a great run off turn 3 there, so Montgomery out tractions him down the front straightaway, and he is going to beat him down to turn 1. Once again, Lane looks to the inside, but does not commit to a move. He's just going to ride in 2nd for now.
You're 100% right. We saw how it worked for the 24 car on Sunday. Had to pit out of the lead after he thought he was in position to win. Now the 26 car is in the same position on fuel strategy, but he does have the tow of the 93 car. The difference is he wants to use it to get by.
Yeah, he has a little bit of safety here, so if he realizes he's short on fuel, he can just kind of back out, lift a little bit down the straightaways, and use that draft to keep him in contention for the win.
Great run off the tunnel by Lane, though.
Yeah, he's there.
This is definitely going to play a thing into how this race finishes. Will be that tunnel turn coming into 3.
Oh, he's there.
Yeah,
What a great corner.
Turn 3 is just such a good passing opportunity, but you need the run off turn 2 to make it work. By the way, there are a couple of ways you can make it work in turn 3. There is the traditional way of getting to the inside, making the move, and the Jeremy Mayfield way, or I guess depending on what you were watching.
Bristol move.
Yeah. Oh, here he goes. Here he goes.
On the inside.
He's got the side draft. They're going to be hard into this braking zone just after the cone.
Side by side into turn 1. Ethan Lane on the inside. Montgomery trying to squeeze him down to that yellow line. He's not giving him an inch more than he needs. They are side by side off turn 2. It'll be a drag race down the Long Pond straightaway. Ethan Lane has the line going into the tunnel turn. He's side drafting the 93.
This is twice now that the 93 has crimped the 26, cut off his momentum, and I don't know how long the 26 will stand for.
They're side by side. They're right. Oh, this is going to be close. They're both getting loose. They're both fighting handling issues. These cars don't have a lot of downforce, but they've got a lot of power. Side by side through turns 3, and that's it. Still side by side. Can
You asked if
Montgomery
either one would back out.
get the run? No, I can't get the run off the corner. They're still side by side, dead even at the line with 8 to go.
The side draft of Ethan Lane combined with that lack of aero damage, he's going to be able to put a little bit of separation here on the straightaways. But that 93 car, man, he's not going to give up.
And there he goes. He's clearing a turn 1. He's clearing a turn 1. Ethan Lane takes the lead. Is Montgomery going to fight back?
Montgomery has a run coming off turn 1.
Good run off.
He's already got front end damage on that on the car, guys. What's a little more? What are you going to do into the tunnel here? Racing for money, just 7 to go.
He's looking to the inside. Lane does not block, but Montgomery is there. He's on his bumper. Could he give him a little nudge? Oh, he's got sideways.
The splitter touched the ground on that 93 car, got loose, got into the apron there. It's going to cost crucial car lengths as Nick Trebuch looks on from the wings.
Yeah,
to be honest, I think that might be it.
I think, well, you say that, but we've said it. We've said it before, and then Kyle Larson blew a tire into turn 3. We said it before, and then Denny Hamlin ran out of fuel. Could we see something similar tonight? Ethan Lane leading with 7 laps to go.
Yeah, I can tell you, Ethan's hunt for a win has come so many weeks into tonight. I don't think that if his spotter calls him on the radio and says, Denny, we need to pit, if I asked Ethan right now and said, man, we need to pit, he'd say, no, I'm sorry, we're going to make this thing work. I mean,
I'd run it till it's dry.
Yeah.
100% for that 26 car, absolutely.
And we've in the past hyped races up about fuel mileage, and they did not come to fruition. So there is a chance that nothing's going to happen here for the next 6 laps.
I'm hoping.
Me too, because that would be a fun way to finish this race out. It'd be a bit of a topsy-turvy finish. We have 7 laps to go, 6 after this final corner. I think now our attention has to turn to fuel mileage.
Guys, I'm going to run down to pit lane here and see if I can't get a hold of one of these guys' crew chiefs and see if I can't learn a little bit more about this fuel mileage.
Pit lane. I apologize. 6 to go.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah, I can't wait to get a couple more lane puns out before the end of it.
Stop.
No.
Although, Dustin Montgomery is down only by 4/10.
Yeah, I mean
he's still there and in the draft.
Yeah, he's still in it. I mean, hey, we've seen before drivers we've seen before drivers that we thought were on older tires and were not going to be able to get to the end with their tires ended up fighting back. We saw it at Chicagoland 2019. We've seen it on iRacing quite a bit. They're side by side for third. Here comes Alec Daffin. Whoa! Fighting his way down the inside, powering through into third. Bold move by Alec Daffin.
Yeah, that was a power move.
But that's a good spot to be in. P3 here as the leaders might get into a fight here with 5 to go. They might run out of fuel. Alec Daffin has that 1 lap security, so it could be a good spot to be in as we come around to pick up 5 laps to go here at Pocono.
Yeah, if I'm Nick Tarabuck there, I certainly don't take kindly to what just happened there with Alec Daffin, just barely clipping him just a little bit there. But one thing I learned in talking to Nick Tarabuck and Ethan Lane's crew chief while I was down there on pit road, it's going to be interesting. We've heard Ethan Lane downshifting, whereas Nick Tarabuck wasn't early. Nick Tarabuck.
Whoa! Car in the wall. Dustin Montgomery out of turn 1.
Oh no.
And he just brushed through with the outside.
And I was just about to say, Ethan Lane missed the corner in 1 and 2. It could have been a great opportunity for Montgomery to claw back some of that lead, but then he hits the wall out of turn 1, and he hits hard in the wall.
He's hard in the wall.
That one's gonna hurt.
Yeah, and that's
oh man, you're gonna hear Ethan Lane singing in the car. I talked to his crew chief with that downshifting he'd been doing, just 1.8 laps good on fuel and decreasing. He's gonna be able to drive that car a little bit more conservatively now. He may make it to the finish, guys.
But that's Montgomery out of the race.
Heartbreaker for Dustin. He's just got to hang on for 4 more laps now.
Yeah, he fought hard the whole time, the whole race, but in the end, he gets into the outside wall, hard out of turn 2. That takes him out of it. 4 to go. We turn our attention to fuel.
Out of it.
Well, not completely.
Not completely. We don't know if Ethan can make it.
And Nick,
he's to the good now, but that's now.
And Tarabuck's looking around a little bit. You saw him running a little bit higher there in turn 1, about 2, maybe a lane off the bottom, about 2 lanes, 1.5 lanes, I'll say, off the bottom. Just looking for a little bit extra speed there in that number 4 machine as we come to take 3 to go next time by.
Yeah, and again, we saw that power move there by Alec Daffin. He's going to have to be able to get by Montgomery, too, who I promise doesn't want to give up second place, lose a spot in the TMG interview booth, as well as points tonight. And when he goes to if he were to get passed by Alec Daffin, where does Nick Tarabuck come into this after that aggressive pass?
And you saw it, and you heard it right there. Daffin shifting from 3rd to 4th out of turn 4, or 3, or wherever that is. 3 laps to go here in Pocono, 1 for each corner on the racetrack, I think. Down to turn 1, Alec Daffin trying to chase down Montgomery for that 2nd spot on the podium.
We got a lap car.
Slow car.
Slow car is going to be in the way.
And I hate to say it, but Ethan Lane is scooting away at the front of the field.
Yeah, and Ethan Lane, again, we talked about being consistent all night, backing up his corners, that number 26, you know, that esports car that's sponsored by Amuka Esports and the RPM High Performance Motorsports guys, been consistently quick all night long. Been the most important part of that is that consistency. We saw him lose a little bit off pit road, more specifically lose to the fastest car on track all night in that Dustin Montgomery, and now Dustin pancaking the wall, knocking the right side off that unsponsored Chevy Camaro. It's going to be tough for him to regain position on Ethan here, and I think Ethan, it may take a serious mistake in order for him to lose this race.
And here goes Daffin to the inside at turn 1. Alec Daffin looking at the move on Dustin Montgomery. He's going down the inside. That is not the right camera angle. Down the inside, side by side off turn 1. And Alec Daffin has the spot. Move Daffin up into P2.
You know, P2, I believe, would be Alec Daffin's best career finish in the Integrity Racing League, sponsored by Pro Powder and Paint. I know he's going to be just absolutely ecstatic for both him and his Twitch followers to be able to put down a solid finish tonight. He just has to link together a few more corners.
And speaking of those few more corners, Ethan Lane is rounding the final one on the racetrack now, turn 3, to start the last lap. White flag in the air. Ethan Lane scooting away at the front of the field. Well, he got very sideways off turn 3.
You're getting a little too excited. Still got one more lap to go, man.
But Ethan Lane
showed off a little bit early there in the number 26 car. This 1 lap to go, brought to you by Pro Powder and Paint, as we see Ethan Lane barrier into turn 1 and 2. Certainly not holding back any, giving any of these guys a chance to remotely catch him down.
Yeah, I mean it'll come down to fuel mileage, but I honestly don't think it will. Ethan Lane is safe. He's at the front of the field, and he can rest a little easy knowing that he will, in a couple of corners' time, be a 3 kind of time winner in the Integrity Racing League this season through the tunnel turn for the final time.
Yeah, as we see Nick Tarabuck here gain on Dustin here in front of him here. Obviously Ethan going to be entering 3, but Nick Tarabuck here, he's got to be able to get by this 93 car to secure himself a place on the podium. He's actually a guy who's sponsoring some of the newcomers here in the league, trying to give these guys a reason to practice and perform coming out here. Dustin Montgomery looks like he may podium, but Ethan Lane is going to be your winner at Pocono Raceway, live in the Pocono Mountains.
And Ethan Lane wins at Pocono. Alec Daffin brings it home 2nd and narrowly over Nick Tarabuck. Dustin Montgomery finishes P3, Tarabuck P4, and Cody Smith, rounding the final corner, comes around to round out the top 5. Brad Patton had a win ripped away from him last week in Nashville. Comes around just outside the top 5, a little bit slidey there off turn 3.
P6.
Wiggles it to the line. And Brad Patton comes home just outside the top 5, but it's Ethan Lane winning for the 3rd kind of time this season here at Pocono. I should say, taking the checkered flag for the 3rd time this season at Pocono.
Yeah, 1 car is out of fuel here coming through turn 3 and 4. Kyle Gilbert actually looks like he might be a little bit out of fuel, trying to wiggle some fuel into the pickup there. He's had a rough night. Car was a little bit loose, ill handling. I know he's going to try to make it across the line here, but that number 58 car is slow off of 4.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm worried that his 20th place finish is going to be, it looks like that's where he's going to end up here.
It'll end
1
up
lap
either
down.
way.
But is anyone going to be nice and come and help him? I don't know. Is Ethan Lane just going to do burnouts to rub the paint in?
He has enough fuel for it.
Yeah, I think he does. But Ethan Lane wins at Pocono. 3rd kind of win this season. 2nd official win on the season. This one, no doubt, will not be in question. Ethan Lane, your winner at Pocono. Why don't we go ahead and get these interviews started off once Ethan Lane finishes up his victory celebrations. And how about a Kyle Gilbert update? Come on, buddy. You can make it.
Oh.
You can make it, buddy.
Oh, wait. We got 1 car coming.
At least back to the pit lane. No.
No.
Come on. You can at least make it back. Oh, what am I looking at? Hold on. I messed up the command V. Oh. Hold on. We got to zoom it out. There we go. All right. Come on, Kyle. You can make it. Come on, Kyle.
Yeah, pit entry.
And you talk about the king of sportsmanship, Ethan Lane turning around, coming down pit road.
Oh.
I wonder if he's going to push the 92 of Gilbert along.
It looks
Look,
like.
Look at that.
There it
Dominates
is.
the race and dominates our heart. Ethan Lane pushing Kyle Gilbert across the line. Can't let him finish like this.
This right here is the power of friendship.
You
Kyle
just can't wreck
Gilbert.
'em.
Yeah, Kyle Gilbert is going to get to finish out this race with a 20th place finish. Not where Kyle would have wanted to finish, but at least he was able to round out this race. So Ethan Lane wins and takes home his second official win on the season. Let's go ahead and bring him up into the broadcast booth to get his thoughts on the race. Ethan, it's Jonathan Oates, Robert Norman, and Tom Wetmore up here in the TMG broadcast booth. You got us?
What's going on, Ethan? You got your ears on, buddy.
Oh, he might be muted.
He is not muted. We'll give him a
Might
little
be
bit.
muted on his end.
He's speaking, but his input isn't coming through here. Let's see if we
I
can't
see
try
the
him
lights
again.
going off. Yeah.
Hello? Hello?
Oh yeah, we got you
How
now.
we
It is.
doing?
There we go.
Well, Ethan,
Ethan,
go ahead, Tom.
sorry, go ahead. Ethan, great win tonight. Incredible performance there to be able to put this down. And man, a winner and a sportsman pushing Mr. Kyle Gilbert across the line there. I mean, tell us about your race tonight. It looked like you had some competition all night long. We were wondering how you were going to work with not just Dustin Montgomery, but the long run performance of Nick Tarabuck and Alec Daffin. I mean, tell us about your race.
It was definitely a race. It was fun. That first run we pushed a little too hard, had a little bit too much front brake bias in. Thought the set was gonna build loose, but it built a lot tighter than what was expected, judging by the first like 5 laps of a run. We wanted to get the playoff points and get all the stage wins, but we didn't. We got the second stage win, I believe. But yeah, racing Dustin, Alec, and Nick there was fun. I was really surprised how like close we were before that first pit stop.
And Ethan, we saw that battle you had with Dustin Montgomery throughout the for about 10 laps there towards the end of the race. Just how difficult was it to get track position here at Pocono and make that pass?
It was really difficult. A lot more difficult than I thought it would be because we ran him down by like a second and a half. But it took a lot longer to run him down. We kind of saved for like the first 10 laps of that run, just so we could have something to run him down, and then hopefully have something to eventually get by him. But the first attempt we tried in 3, we kind of went a little too deep. We almost wrecked him and myself, so I kind of had to reassess and got the side draft working down all 3 straightaways, and eventually got around him into turn 3, I think it was.
And lastly, we've seen you have a lot of strong performances here in the Integrity Racing League. This is now your third kind of win on the season, your second official win of the season. With all the success that you've had recently, I mean, what are your expectations now going forward in terms of the championship?
I wouldn't really recently call it success. We've had some trouble the past few weeks, but it's nice to turn things around and finally get another win here. But we need to be consistent. Want to go back and try to get the regular season championship lead again. I don't think we have it anymore. I think Brad has it, but if we can do that, we'll hopefully be set for the playoff.
All right, well, we appreciate you joining us here tonight. Congratulations on your win. Is there anyone that you would like to thank?
Congrats, man.
No, I just want to thank everyone for having a clean race tonight. It was definitely fun. The first 10, 12 laps kind of scared me a little bit, but it was fun. Thanks to Don for putting these races on every week, and y'all for broadcasting them.
All right, well, we appreciate you joining us, and we will see you in, I believe, 2 weeks' time for, one moment please, Atlanta. So we'll see you then.
All right, we're looking forward to it.
All right. And that was Ethan Lane, race winner tonight at Pocono, who's back. and
gone.
Gone again. That was Ethan Lane, race winner tonight at Pocono. Let's go ahead and bring up second place finisher, Alec Daffin. I forgot who it was for a second. Wait, can I bring him up? I can. We can bring him up into the booth. Alec, it's Jonathan Oates up in the TMG broadcast booth. You got it? You got us?
I gotcha.
How you doing?
Man, I gotta admit, sometimes you gotta lick the stamp and send it, brother. The way that Daniel Ricciardo says it best. I mean, tell us about that big move that you made here, the closing laps, getting by Nick Tarabuck, and then ultimately by Montgomery, who pancaked the fence to bring home your best career Integrity Racing League finish, P2, buddy.
Yeah, that was a weird race. I mean, I made a ton of mistakes early on, especially after my final pit stop, but I just buckled down at the end there. Like, I was on one lap fresher tires, which helped. And then I ran down Terrabuck. I didn't think I was going to get around, but the last couple laps before I passed him there, I found something, and then I got around him. I was shifting in 1 and 3, but I guess I managed my tires better somehow. And I do apologize to him. I kind of ran up into him in turn 2 there. Wasn't trying to do that, but I would have gone around him anyway. But then, yeah, Montgomery hit the wall with like 3 or 4 laps to go, and yeah, I didn't think I was gonna get him before that, but then I realized, hey, I might have a shot at P2 here, and then I ran him down like 2 seconds in the last couple laps, and I got around him, and then just cruised to P2.
And Alec, we've seen these past couple of weeks. I feel like you've been building a lot of momentum. I feel like I've been talking about you a lot more on these broadcasts, and I think you're getting a little bit closer to that first Integrity Racing League win. Are there any tracks that you see here in the future that you might be looking at as a potential opportunity to steal one away here?
We're going to a lot of tracks for the second time now, like Atlanta. We're going to. I ran well there back in the first race. Las Vegas, we'll go there eventually. Thing is, early in the season, I was running well. I just wasn't getting the finishes. Now, I don't think I'm running as well, but I'm getting the better results though. And I think with that, I'll start to improve. So, yeah, we got a couple tracks coming up. Of course, we're not going to Road America next week, which sucks. But like Atlanta, New Hampshire, those are tracks that are good for me. So I think I can run well there, at least top 5. And if things go my way, maybe have a shot at the win.
Yeah, and Alec, I mean, like I was talking about, you've been building a lot of momentum, putting down some solid finishes. Does this kind of change your expectations of what you want to try and succeed, or what you want to try and accomplish in the championship as we get closer to the playoffs in September?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like my performance has been about the same throughout the season, but now I'm getting the results. And yeah, we've had smaller fields, which has helped a little bit. But I mean, still, I've had like 7 top 10s in a row now, which I feel like I'm getting the confidence, getting the momentum. So if I keep doing this, I mean, I'm probably gonna make the playoffs. So by the time we get to the playoffs, if I keep this momentum and I keep getting the results, I could possibly be a contender for the championship. Or at least
Yeah.
saying it.
Alec, you make a great point. I mean, speed all season, especially even in the early season. You mentioned tracks like Las Vegas that were coming, that we were at earlier this year. Alec, like you mentioned, a couple hard finishes early in the season, but at that Las Vegas track, you qualified on the pole. Alec, a driver with a ton of speed, and clearly tonight, long run speed as well, able to chase down and pass some of the best drivers in the league. John asked you about the chase as we come into the next couple of races of the season, but I got to ask you, as we're here at Pocono today, I mean, what's the next track that you keep an eye on the schedule? Is it Las Vegas? Is it like what's the next track that you have on your mind?
I can't remember the whole schedule, but I know we go to New Hampshire. I usually run pretty well there. Even when I'm not performing the best, I can usually run well there. I think we got a couple more short tracks. But usually in the summer months, I have some good tracks. But definitely New Hampshire. I can't remember what else we go to. But yeah, short tracks are usually where I'm best at. So if things can go my way, I usually run pretty well at those.
All right, well, the best of luck to you as we move forward in the season. Anyone that you would like to give a shout out to for your result tonight?
I got to thank Pro Power and Paint for sponsoring the series. I got to thank Dawn for putting on the league, all the admins, everybody for racing me clean. I got 4 of the Georgia Line on the car, so I got to give a shout out to them. One of my favorite bands. And if you want to go follow me on Twitch at 4Lex Bowman, it's on the back of my car, 4LEXBOWMAN. I stream every Integrity race, and I'll have official races there. And I obviously got to thank you guys at TNG, John, Jonathan, Tom, and everybody else involved. And yeah, thank you.
All right, well, we appreciate you joining us tonight. Alec, we're going to see you in 2 weeks' time at Atlanta. We'll see you then.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Have you not, man?
I almost said Road Atlanta because I kept getting Road America. Yeah.
I
Well,
noticed you started.
You know what? It's 7:38. That's kind of late, you know. All right. Now, typically we would bring up your third place finisher, but he is not in the Discord. So instead, we're gonna do what Don requested I do, and interview Nick Terrabuck and Brad Patton, who have a special promotion planned. So why don't I bring them both into the booth and see what they've got? Nick, Brad, you're in the TMG broadcast booth. Tom told me, or Don, I get everyone confused, I'm sorry. Don told me that you guys have a special promotion planned. Why don't you go ahead and tell us all about it?
All right, so in 2 weeks here, to get this car count out, or the car count up, we are going to be offering a bounty, basically. If it's above 30 cars, and you are a new member or an existing member of Integrity Racing League and you want to try to make some money, the highest paying member or new member under 8 races for this first run, we're going to throw out $10 by me and $10 by Terabuck. Now, if that person said, or the new person or whatever wins, it's an additional 10 from each of us, so it's a potential to make $40 in one race. So we're trying to have some fun and get the league back to what it used to be.
Yeah, we have it kind of planned out for the next couple of races. People have expressed interest, not just myself and Brad, but a few others have expressed interest into extending this out.
Yeah.
So we're going to do something like this. I think the first race will be Atlanta, and we're hoping to do this throughout the a couple races in the season just to help bring new people to the league and help promote it and make the racing a little more exciting throughout the pack.
All right, well, we appreciate your efforts to try and get the car count up, and it seems like a very interesting way to try and get more people in the league. Something to keep an eye out for on these broadcasts. I'm going to go ahead and post a server invite in the YouTube chat, so if you'd like to join... Oh, that's okay, for some reason it just copied the Discord. Okay, it just copied discord.gg. That's not the Integrity Racing League. They do not own all of Discord. Okay, well that's just not working for some reason. So, all right, never mind. Go ahead and contact me if you'd like to join the Integrity Racing League, and I will invite you from there because apparently that's just not going to work. But yeah, thanks for telling us all about the promotion. Hopefully it'll get some more members in the league, and we can keep an eye out on that bounty over the next couple of weeks at the races that it will be at.
Absolutely, yeah. Just for additional information, I'm going to start posting it on the I think there's a forum thread for Integrity for our league on iRacing forums, and I'm going to post a little more detail, or Brad and I are going to post a bit more detail in the Facebook group and on that page as it comes out further closer to Atlanta.
I'm calling out any professional driver, anybody who thinks they're professional, anybody who thinks they're good. Bring your butts to Integrity Racing League and see if you can beat us. Simple as that.
Well, what if they think they're bad? Are you calling them out too?
If they're bad, just be bad to the bone. Let's go.
That's my
Absolutely.
All right. Well... All right, well, we appreciate you joining us here in the booth. And yeah, if you'd like to join the Integrity Racing League, if you think you're good, if you think you're a professional, if you think that you're bad, if you think that you won't wreck the field on lap 1, then go ahead and contact me about it, and I'll go ahead and send you a server invite. But Brad, Nick, I appreciate you joining me here in the booth. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks' time at Atlanta.
Hey, man. Thanks for broadcasting.
Yeah, thanks, Brad. Thanks, Nick. Again, guys, like Jonathan mentioned, you'll get an invite, but obviously all applications are subject to approval by league admins. But Brad and Nick, awesome job putting up just another sponsor supporting the Integrity Racing League here and supporting not just our veteran chartered members, but also new guys willing to run clean, and run fast here at Integrity Racing League. Thanks again, guys, for putting this up. An excellent opportunity for anyone trying to join a league mid-season. And, hey, get paid to play some simulator games, right?
Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely.
there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, Tom, slide up, baby.
10-4 driver.
Thanks, guys.
All right, well, that was Nick Terabuck and Brad Patton. Once again, if you'd like to join this league, go ahead and let me know, and I'll send you a server invite, and you can come race. But if I send you a server invite and you wreck the field lap 1 in Atlanta, then you are no longer my friend. I'm sorry, but that's just how it works. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's just how it's got to happen. All right. That has been the Integrity Racing League from the Pocono Raceway. We thank you all for joining us here on this Monday evening. Very exciting race, a lot of good battles throughout the track, especially at a track like Pocono, which doesn't really have the best reputation. I think it put on a very good race tonight. I'm excited to... Yeah, and I'm excited to be back in 2 weeks' time at Atlanta, and hopefully we'll eventually get to Road America. I don't know when that'll be, but it better be eventually, or else I'm packing my things and I'm leaving. Okay, well, if it's got to be that way, then I'm leaving right now. No, I'm kidding. Although we are going to be signing off for the stream, so thank you all for joining us tonight. We will see you all in 2 weeks' time at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Goodbye, everybody, and thank you for joining.